Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Oh.
All right, that's good. Oh, we're recording. Oh, wow.
Oh,
Hey.
it's live. Yeah, no, it's live.
Hey, hey, hey. All right, let's do it, right? Yo, it is another edition of the iOS podcast, like a normal pod, a normal edition. Honestly, I almost went super aggressive on the yo because I just saw Dune 2, and we don't curse on this pod, but it bleeping kicks ass, dude. Oh my God. It's so awesome. Like, hype is warranted. See it in the theaters. It's totally worth it. Like, this everything, like the visuals, the sound, the story, everything, dude. Like that movie, like rocks. So highly recommend it. So yeah, I'm flying, buddy. I don't really have much to say about the Phillies. I could probably do like 2 hours on Dune 2, but how you doing? What's going on?
Well, you say we don't curse on this podcast. I mean,
I cursed on the last one. I know. I forgot. So yeah. Inside Baseball. I used to edit these and I used to mark them as we're going. And now we got our guy Tucker. Shout out to Tucker. And I just forgot to tell him that I cursed. I wrote down the time. I just forgot. And,
so I'm going to let you off the hook here. I'm going to let you off the hook here because you did text Tucker and you said 33-minute mark. I cursed and he did not.
I did do it in the moment? Oh, thank God. I thought I forgot. See, thank you.
Not you.
Okay. All right, good. Tucker, pull together, buddy.
Because I would say that, I don't think that there's a human being in the world, maybe Joe DeCamera, that doesn't handle not being right about something worse than you. So like I feel like I had to that's been weighing on you, I can tell. For the last little bit. And I just want to make sure that you know that you're let off the hook. That's on Tucker, but also watch your language. There's kids watching.
Yes, yeah. The curse itself clearly on me. The catching of the curse. Thank you. I'm happy I covered myself. I thought I did, but then I was like, oh, I did. I tried to own it. I took it on me. We're better than that.
Many people do say that, yes.
And I apologize to all the kids that we met over the runs, and that is really the bigger. I used to be like, Jack, come on, man. It's podcast. We can curse. Stop it. And then I met a bunch of like dads and kids and moms, and I was like, you know what? My bad, guys.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Yeah. Dang it. That's what Zoe said.
Darn tootin'. Darn tootin'.
Yeah, Zoe said, dang it today. And I was like, yes, okay. Let's go with that. That's good. All right. How you doing? You doing good? I mean, I saw Dune too, so I'm obviously good.
Yeah, no, I'm doing well. And I feel like I need to set this podcast off on the right tone, okay? Mm-hmm. Like I just want to, how like
yes.
Sometimes in like football or like Kyle Schwarber is your leadoff hitter.
There it is.
Things are tone setters.
Yes.
Here's the tone setter for this podcast. Okay. I'm just saying that Christian Pache's swing reminds me so much of Derek Jeter's that like. You can't even convince me it's they're not the same player.
Yeah.
Like look at Christian Pache and then go watch some old Derek Jeter clips. It's the same swing. It's the same swing.
So I would never doubt you when it comes to swings, pitches. So you probably know if you've listened to the pod long enough because we've alluded to it or referenced it or whatever. But if you're new or even somewhat new, Jack is a savant when it comes to like recognizing if someone's like, whose batting stance is this? Jack's like, Gary Sheffield, stop. That was easy. Like,
well, Gary Sheffield, like, everyone should know Gary
maybe
Sheffield.
One of I thought of the one I might get myself, like the one. But pitching, wind-ups, the whole thing, like Jack's like nuts about it. He'll always come to work and be like, who's this? And I'm like, I have no idea, man. And then
who does this remind you of?
Yeah. And then like he'll tell me in like 30% of the time, like, I can see that. Yeah. But so like, if you say that, I trust you.
Thank you.
Let's just call him the next
day. I want no pushback. I want no pushback.
Good. Yeah. Well, I've always been very big on if you see something in spring training, especially only if it's a couple games in spring training, just like roll with it. Like it's true. It's fact. So
I don't appreciate.
We got our Derek. Derek Jeter. Derek Jeter.
Well, at least he's not a little slap hitter like Derek Jeter. He's got some pop.
Derek Pache.
Yeah. So
far, to be fair, not to dredge up bad memories, maybe his heart doesn't beat quite as slow as Derek in the big spots so far, but we'll see.
Yeah, well, listen, that wasn't his fault. We need some more experienced people on the roster. Okay, okay. Hey. What do we always say, James? What do we always say?
Which of the many things we always say that is probably something we've never said? You're about to say. Go ahead.
Analytics can't always measure heart.
It's true. We do. Yeah. You're right. No, we always say that. I mean, it should have been the thing I thought.
So I have also.
What was it again? I can't remember. Oh, okay, got it.
Yes. Analytics can't measure hearts.
Yeah. One of our phrases.
Yep. So I have been thinking a lot about this podcast because I swear to you, I have been wanting to record this podcast since about Wednesday.
I'm not surprised.
There's so much that I want to talk
about. Honestly, I actually thought should we just make the whole pod a take bag? Why don't we?
You could.
Let's just do it. It's a take bag, but I don't have anything to say. I could talk about Dune 2 nonstop, and I got reaction. We'll talk about Blake Snell, the Nightingale thing. We'll get into that, but let's just do it in form of the take bag. It's the take bag pod.
Why don't you
go? Let's go.
You've mentioned
set the tone. Are you going to be a tone setter for the pod or what? I don't know.
You have mentioned this stupid movie three too many times for me.
It's so good.
Three too many times.
It's so good. I can't. It was so hyped. So last thing I'll say, Emily is very big, and obviously Emily and I complete opposites. That's why we work. But Emily's very big on not getting her expectations up for things because then her expectations are exceeded. And
is that because you consistently let them down?
No, that was good. All right, credit where it's due. I am, you know me, anyone who knows me. I'm very big on I can't possibly tamp down my expectations for anything, and everything's gonna be the greatest thing ever, and I'm always super excited for it. I was so hyped for this movie because of all the hype and all that stuff, and it's even better than I expected. It was amazing. So yeah, I'm done.
I'm happy for you.
Yeah,
I'm happy for you.
So let's talk Phillies. What's on your mind, buddy?
I'll let you know, buddy. It was not better than whatever Spencer Turnbull and Griff McGarry did the other day, but I'm sure it was. That's why
you're a pro. I like how of all the things you could have led with there in the take bag episode, you're Spencer Turnbull, man, Griff McGarry. Let's go.
Well, let's put it this way. Before we get to the I guess hour-long take back, which it 100%.
If we go an hour, Emily might kill me. But go ahead, yes.
No, I've been thinking about the podcast as a whole, and because I've obviously been talking on the radio a bit more
all the time. I know. I just tune in. It's there he is.
Oh, there he is. Again. And obviously, I host a Sixers podcast.
I know.
When people think of basketball, they think of me.
There we go. Yes.
But I've been thinking about this podcast, and it was there's nothing I could do that could replicate the absolute passion and some would say psychoness.
Is that the words? Yes. Yes.
Of High Hopes and the Phillies, and it's irreplaceable and non-comparable. Is this podcast, and I had to submit my keepers in my fantasy league. And I've been building my Fritz list of pitchers who I'm in on. By the way, I feel I'm trying to decide because I don't think many members of my fantasy leagues listen to the podcast.
Sure.
But I feel for the people out there that do care about the Fritz list, I feel I need to put out maybe one guy an episode.
So yeah, here's what I think you should do. And it's a commitment thing. I think you should pick a different time each episode. At 1 minute, give it out at the end. 1 minute, one time, give it out 15 minutes, and one give it out for. So people in your league have to listen to the pod to hear your guy.
Okay. Well, I'll get this one out early, and if he's taken, I will be beside myself. But I think my number
feels like a bad idea. But go ahead.
It's a bad idea. It's a bad idea,
especially with that setup. You'll be beside yourself. But go ahead. Yes. Great.
Are you right? Are you writing this down?
I mean, people in my I do think there might be a Dave Stoneback. If you're listening, how you doing, buddy? Go ahead.
Hey, bleep this. Bleep this audio.
Yeah.
I think the number one Fritz guy early, and there's plenty of time to develop this, is DL Hall of the Brewers.
Yes.
Yeah. So make sure DL Hall is
not DL Hughley.
Don't even know who that is, but DL Hall.
I thought that might be a slight age reference jump. Shout out to DL Hughley. The DL Hughley show back in the day. Anyway, we're good.
DL Hall, one of my many Fritz guys.
Not Derek Hall.
Not Derek Hall. I do have actually Derek Hall point in the take bag, which I can't wait to get to.
You mean that you mean in the episode?
In the
The
episode.
take bag, yes.
But
So go
before
ahead,
we get
what
to the
before we get to it, God, oh my goodness, we're off to a great start. Should I text Emily now and just say I'm sorry? Go ahead.
before we get to the take bag, I am curious.
Yeah.
Because I argued this on the air the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it was shocking because it's 50-50 the poll result. But is winning the NL East a big deal to you? Like, do you want the Phillies to be not? I'm not saying they have to win the NL East, but to be competitive in it. Like, how much does winning the NL East physically matter to James Seltzer?
So I understand why it was 50-50. Like, my gut instinct, it's one of those things where when you first see it, your gut instinct is like, no, honestly, it doesn't. I mean, we've just seen the last 2 years that winning the NL East, when all is said and done with what we care about, doesn't matter. It just doesn't. But, like, you know, I hate the Braves. And I also don't want to have to spend June and July and August and, you know, 2 years ago, September, wondering if the Phillies were actually going to make the playoffs. So, like, it does matter to me personally in a way. And I think that it's, you know, also just seeing them kind of put a full season together, whether they, you know, can actually finish ahead of the Braves or just kind of stay close to them enough where it's a thing, but where they, you know, win 97 games or whatever it is, would just be nice to see, because it's the last 2 years we've seen them win the playoffs. Obviously not the ultimate goal, but we've seen them, you know, kind of step up their game when it matters. We know they could do that. We haven't seen them put a full season together and really kind of just look like one of those elite squads in baseball. I mean, the Dodgers win like 105 every year. Their over-unders like what, like 101 or 103? It's crazy. Like, so it doesn't like, ultimately, it's one of those things where ultimately, if I'm being completely honest, like, all I care about is winning a title. Ultimately, like, however you get there, I don't care.
Take.
I really don't.
Big take.
I know, but my point being that I don't really care how I get there. I just want to get there. But outside of that, you know, grand thing at the end, like, just on a micro scale, like, yeah, I want to beat the Braves. I want to be good all year. I want to be, you know, when every time I look at a power rankings, I want the Phillies to be top 5, top 6, whatever. So it does matter to me in a way, but I also don't think that ultimately in the grand scheme of things it matters. I think you just need to be the best team in the playoffs.
Yeah, I just think that, you know, I want them. I don't want it to be a 10-game division lead in September, like,
or 14 last year.
I want the Phillies to just be actually like just really good from start to finish, you know, and so like from that standpoint, it does matter. Like, I hope that they're involved. I hope that, you know, this isn't like a runaway heading into September, because I mean, the only thing that worries me. And it's interesting because of the 3-game, you know, off thing that happens in the postseason now. But, like, they've also had to go down and win a game 1 in Atlanta in the last 2 years. And it's worked. It's been great. But I wonder how long you can
sustainable. Like, how sustainable is that?
Like, I do think 95 wins is on the table this year. Like, I think 95 is well within reach. And if you look at like their April schedule.
Well, that's Jack, that you beat me to it. That's what I was going to say is like, and we know how often, especially with good teams, like, you always see a team that kind of gets off to a hot start and can't sustain it. But if you're a good team, if you can get off to a hot start and really play well, you know, it kind of is easy to cruise. You can kind of just, you know, get out to like a 20-8 start or something, and then play 500 baseball and you're a 100-win team or whatever that plays out, you know? So it's like, I do think that when you look at the schedule, the way it shakes out, kind of another thing too, that we haven't talked a lot about is that, you know, it is, you know, last year, I think the mentality's been the same both years. Last year was the 2 more wins. This year it's Middleton firing them up and them coming out being like, all we want is a title and all that stuff. But I think that the last year they had never gone that long into the play. They might be like, yeah, all we care about is title, but they didn't know what it took to go that deep into October and have their offseason the right way, do this, do that, be ready to like start the season. Plus the WBC added on top of that. Whereas this offseason, like they just did it. They just went into October, played deep in October, and they know what it kind of feels like, what it takes to ratchet it back up, turn it back around. And I hope that, and the WBC thing, again, like I'll mention that, I do think that matters, especially when we saw a bad Turner started, how Kyle Schwarber, I know he always starts slow, but started slow, how the guys, Taiwan, how these guys who are part of that were not what you would expect, certainly early in the season, in some cases all season. Like, I think that there should be more hope, and not just hope, more logical reasoning to believe that they might get off to a better start this year.
Yeah, and I know it's spring training, and I know that it's that time of the year, but I just there's something that feels right about this team. Like, I look at the Braves, and am I really to expect that Olsen's going to hit 50 plus again, and Acuna is going to have a 40-70 year
bulky knee already, buddy?
Just
saying.
Now, the last time this happened, they won a World Series.
Yes, but it also happened later in the season and all that. So just saying.
Right. So they had a pretty ridiculous year last year offensively. They're like, can they really sustain that again? And it's just, I've loved everything that has come out of Phillies camp. You know, whether it's Whit Merrifield talking about how special the culture is, whether it's, Rob Thompson talking the other day about, like, we got to get bunts down. Like, we're working on bunting.
Or when he was talking about, he's like, we've had a bite of it. They want a chunk of it. They want to eat.
I know.
And the Middleton thing, like, not to undermine that. Like, from everyone who was there, like, it seems like that speech he gave was, like, really inspiring. And it was something where it was like, all right, enough. Like, go freaking win. Like, go get that bleeping trophy. Like, it does seem, and I know there were good vibes last year, but it does feel more concrete this year in a way,
Well, there's something to these guys being together now for pretty much the third straight year.
Yeah, it's a great point. Yeah.
So when you've gone through the battles that this group's gone through, and you are sitting here again, and it's like, man, we're this close. We're this close. I think that it just means more and matters more when the group has stayed together the way they have. And it's the one thing I probably haven't been harping on enough is just what it means to be a part of a team that's been together for a couple of years, and like,
especially a team that likes each other.
Yeah, like knowing how other guys tick. And I think that's going to be the big thing that's going to show this year is everyone's here. They have the biomechanics lab.
I love this point, man.
The pitchers have learned new pitches, but like, all they really have to work on is the extra little stuff to round out the roster and make them as good as possible. I have a really good feeling. And
me too, man.
Like, you look at April, right? So they have this is their series in April. Home versus the Reds. Reds might win the Central.
They have the Braves first, right?
No, I know, but this is April.
Yeah. Oh, April. My fault.
April 1st. So,
like, how you just jumped over the Braves to make your point. We all see what you did there. Go ahead.
Always. Yeah. But they were without Acuna, so who cares? Or might be without him. So Reds in one of the in the BOGO dollar dog nights, which is like apparently Meltdown City. About the
who cares, guys?
Nights. Like, oh my god.
DeCamera had a good line on the air. He's like, you know what? At one point, they got rid of the 10-cent dog night. And then at another point, they got rid of the 50-cent dog night. And then, it's like, it's what happens, man. Once a bunch of kids are throwing hot dogs on the field and buying like 20 of them to just throw around and stuff, like, it's like, all right, we've reached the end of this. Like, this is over. It's all good. We'll all move forward. We'll all be okay. You know what? Especially the pitch clock, the time it takes to get them, like, what we're here for? Like, we're not in that era anymore. We're here to win a freaking World Series. We're here to go watch a great baseball team play. Like, we're here to watch future Hall of Famers like Bryce Harper try to win a title. Like, we're not there for dollar dogs anymore. Like, we don't need that, like, manufactured way to get people to the ballpark anymore. We're there to win.
Yeah. And there's also 3 last year.
Yeah. It's already been decreasing anyway. Yeah.
Relax.
Yeah.
So Reds at Nationals, at Cardinals, versus Pirates, versus Rockies, versus White Sox, at Reds, at Padres, at Angels. I mean, that should be like a 17 to 20 win month, James.
Agree.
I mean it's about as good as you could do coming out of the gate. You know, when he have started slow the last couple of years, to have that April, I mean, it's
huge.
It's a little bit like last year's August, where they put themselves square in contention in last year's August.
Yep. And again, I don't think we can underestimate the fact that they went to the World Series 2 years ago, came back, and experienced not being as good as they thought they were. Like, they know what it feels like to come off playing in October, thinking you're one thing and kind of getting punched in the mouth to start the season. You know, it's one thing when you get punched in the mouth with Girardi and then you fire him and you go on a run. It's like, all right, we're good now. And then they got punched in the mouth again. They know what that feels like. Like, I think that they're just going to be more prepared to not have that type of slow start. So, all right, what else you got? Let's keep it rolling.
And they're really good. That's the other
thing. And they're just good. Yeah, they're just super talented.
I guess before the take back, let's just like...
Is this a bit? This better be a bit. The before the take. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, go ahead.
It's not a bit. Like, you know, it's not. No.
Why not just make it part of the take back? Is my point. Like, it's all good.
Maybe it is. Maybe it is.
All right. So for those who didn't see Bob Nightingale reporting the Phillies, so I will just give you the Phillies are in on Snell still. Like, could be short term deal, whatever. I am with all of these leaks when I hear them, until proven differently. And look, the longer these people on the market, the more likely I believe they are to take short-term deals for sure. But until something happens, I just feel like the Phillies are always kind of a leverage team. And it's always kind of, you know, like, hey, let's throw the Phillies in there. Because the Phillies will sign him for a 1-year deal or a 2-year deal. Like, they're not every team would. Like, the Phillies will. So, and I feel like they've been signing so many guys last few years and they've been connected to them already. And they made the bid for Yamamoto. Like, people know they want pitching. So I feel like it's one of those things where, like, I can't gauge if, like, I think they would definitely sign him for a short-term deal, but I feel like these leaks are more, hey, the Phillies would sign him for a short-term deal. Better get him for a longer-term deal while you can type of stuff. You know what I mean?
Sure. I'm just saying, like, I'm not really that in on the idea of Snell on a short-term deal, like even short-term. And the thing that worries me about where we're at with these pitchers right now, heading into the market, whether it's a 1 or 2 year deal, is I don't like that they're starting now and they're already behind the 8
totally.
ball.
No, I agree.
So, like,
especially
why?
If you're a pitcher, not a hitter.
Correct. Like, I would much rather sign Montgomery because, like, Snell, like, again, I don't want to give up a 2nd and 5th round pick. I know people don't care about this. I'm not.
Montgomery's not a max. He's not like a velocity guy. He's not like a, you know, you feel like he can get into playing shape quicker, kind of like Ranger, where he's able to like kind of get going quicker than another guy might.
But Montgomery also doesn't cost the qualifying offer stuff. Yeah. So like, if for 1 year of Blake Snell, I'm going to give up a 2nd and 5th round pick and drop my spot back 10 slots. Like, I just. That would be a pretty big mistake if I was, you know, the Phillies.
I don't think you can say it's a mistake. You care a lot more about that than most people do. But I think you can say, like, look, if Blake Snell helps him win a World Series over the next 2 years, it's totally worth it. Like, it's like, whatever. Who cares about that?
Well, I'm saying 1 year.
1 year. Even then, like, but the point is we're in a window right now. So I will not crush them for any sort of 1 year deal, no matter what assets they can't get because of it. Because, like, Blake Snell won the Cy Young last year. I do think he makes you better. Is Blake Snell better than Taijuan Walker? Yeah, I think he is. So and he gives you more depth regardless of the whole thing. So I get your point, but I don't think it could be a mistake. But I can understand where it makes way more sense to do Montgomery for that reason.
Right, which is I would rather sign Montgomery.
Yeah.
Also, it seems like you forget that Rhys Hoskins and Ryan Howard are both drafted in the 2nd round or in the 5th round. So it seems like you might be conveniently forgetting that when you're talking about signing Blake Snell.
Yeah. Well, luckily first base is clogged up for the next at least 8 years. So.
Yeah. Well, only
TH you could at some point.
You might as well just say 12 years at this point. But I would just if you're gonna sign one of the guys, just for me, just sign Montgomery.
Yeah, do it for Jack.
Yeah, we don't need don't give up the picks, man. Like, 2nd round picks are the greatest. You know, I just
everyone knows that.
Everyone's been saying that for years, and hopefully you can get off Taiwan Walker. So, yeah, I'd be very surprised if they sign Snell. I do think that they could sign Jordan Montgomery. It seems like it's like us, the Red Sox, who are. Is there a worse thing for the sport than the Red Sox? Basically,
it's a freaking embarrassment. Like, they should be embarrassed. The whole, like, and I know they won 4 championships, so it's kind of hard to be like, all right, owners, you are embarrassing. Like, but what they're doing, I mean, honestly, from the Mookie Betts trade forward, yeah, it's been an embarrassment. I mean,
they should
trading Mookie. Like, are you kidding me? Like, you're the Boston Red Sox. Like, Mookie should have never worn another uniform. It's just, it's crazy. It embarrassment's the word. Without
the Red Sox should be forced to have a 200 and
they should have like a floor that's way higher than everybody else. I agree with you, no doubt.
Like it's
they both should. I agree.
It's healthy for the sport.
Yeah,
no
doubt.
Having the Red Sox punting on free agency because of like Roman Anthony and like it's insane to me.
I agree.
But yeah, I think the Jordan Montgomery thing, I believe in more than the Snell thing. I think it's like us, the Red Sox, and I still think the Rangers, like if he wants to do like a 1-year deal.
And I still think the Yankees are in on that. Like, they've been connected to Snell, and I wouldn't be shocked if.
Well, apparently Snell turned down a freaking
6 for 168. Yeah, sure, okay.
Probably should have done that though.
I don't think it. I maybe turned it down. I'll just leave it at that.
Okay. Should I just go straight to the take back?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Please.
Okay.
Please.
I might just keep teasing it.
I texted our buddy, aforementioned Tucker. He's on vacation, so like I have to edit and post this too.
Oh, yeah.
So like, no big deal. No big deal.
No. So what you're saying is take all the time you need.
Yeah. Just relax, buddy. It's all good.
Take all the time you need. I am slowly. I'm curious where you're at, but Pache starting in center field and Rojas in AAA to start the year has to be on the table.
Oh, buddy, yeah. Look, I of course it is. I think they're gonna. I don't think it's gonna crush them in April, and I think they know that they can afford to give it a little bit of time, especially with the Marsh injury, and who knows when he'll be back fully ready to go. That I think that both guys will be here, and I do think it's a, whoever hits is going to stay kind of thing, and to your point, if I had to bet right now, if you said to me one of these guys will be the starting center fielder on May 1st and one won't, I agree with you. I would bet on it being Pache.
Dude, I think.
But again, I wouldn't be shocked. Rojas is bigger. He's done stuff. You never know until.
Well, it seems like they want Rojas.
They want desperately all offseasons, but like one message is very clear. But I'm with you. If I had to bet on one of the two right now, where they're at in their careers and their physical abilities and whatever, I would bet on Pache producing more from now to May 1st.
But also, so he's out of minor league options. I'm not just losing Christian Pache. I'm not just losing him.
I agree.
When he's a young player,
and he's turning the corner, maybe who
might
knows?
be. Yeah. I mean, he might be. His
certainly worth finding out, right?
And
Rojas has options too,
right? And Rojas,
and he's close to as good a fielder. He's not as good as Rojas, but he's it's not like you're losing that much on the main reason you want Rojas there.
Rojas is a transcendent level defensive player, but Christian Pache is really good defensively as well. So I don't want to have to lose Christian Pache because of Johan Rojas having to start the year in the major leagues, and I think the hitting, he didn't get a hit today. It's not the end of the world, but now in Pache to strike out
not
3
getting
times.
A hit in a spring training game is definitely not the end of the world. I agree.
But I don't want to lose Christian Pache yet for a pretty unproven player.
I do.
Hitting.
I like him. Look, again, last year, every moment of Christian Pache's Phillies career, outside of him hurting himself, which has been an issue for him, but hurting himself and then coming back and it taking a while to get going and then the playoffs. But prior to getting hurt, from the moment he got here, he was freaking awesome. And now he's come back in spring and he's looking awesome so far. So, and look, again, pedigree wise, as much as I have Rojas, Pache has a better pedigree. I mean, this guy was a top 10 prospect in the whole sport. So I'm with you.
I don't know if you heard the broadcast a couple weeks ago, but Rob Thompson focusing on bunting with some of the players. That's what I'm talking
Good.
about.
We've talked about this before. We're not, it's not like how you have to play small ball, but like every person on the team should know how to bunt. Like you should just know how to bunt. It should be part of your job description. Like it's like you just have to know how to bunt. Sorry.
Yeah. Listen, hey,
You're a Major League Baseball player. You know how to bunt.
Winning baseball. That's the key. That's what bunting is. That's what bunting. Move the runner along. Like they've been, if you like really have dialed in on what they've been doing, like I feel like they've been much better about, like, dude, Schwarber executed a hit and run the other day. You know what I mean? Like they've been really good about, runner on, first and it's the bottom of the lineup, like getting him over, getting him in, or runner on second and then the bottom of the lineup, getting him over, getting him in, and like I know. It's not as sexy as a home run, but that stuff excites me. Like, there's nothing.
Whoa.
You could tell me they can have a 3-run home run, but a well-executed guy on second base, get him over, get him in. I mean, that's what matters, James. That's what matters.
Well, here's why it does matter. It's because, like, cliches are cliches for a reason, as I always say, and that's a cliche in October because it does matter. It just does. Like small ball, being able to execute on those things matters in October in the postseason, and being able to do that and working on that all year and being like, not just like good at those things, but like accustomed to doing those things in situations is all things that you want to have at the end of the season. Like that's important reps and practice and prep. So yes. Jeff.
Well, I mean, like literally the other day, I witnessed Johan Rojas have a 2-strike approach. And I said, "What is that?"
What?
I know he didn't take a big leg kick.
Loopy.
It was just, hey, the ball's in the outside corner. I'm gonna hit it the opposite way. If it goes through, it goes through. But I'm gonna get that runner over to third base. And I said, that's winning baseball by Johan Rojas. So it's very exciting. It feels like they're emphasizing the little things.
Fundamentals, buddy.
The little things matter the most when it comes to the end of the season. So very, very, very giddy. Again, this is in no order. This is just straight up consciousness.
It's a take bag. Everyone knows.
Chris Sanchez adding weight to himself and velocity. He's up to 95 with a little cutter.
Oh, buddy, let's go.
Very excited for another year of Christopher Sanchez. And like a cutter off of everything he does with back up to 95. Because like when he first came up, he was like 96 to 97. Just had no idea where the baseball is going. Now it seems like Chris Sanchez knows where the baseball is going. And he's added a little cut to it. It's only been one outing in spring, but very excited about
dude, I'm all in. I fully believe. I really do.
No one better. It seems like they've done
I don't know if I go that far, but I'm saying I think last year what we saw will carry over.
Here's the thing that I think the Phillies are developing. Seems like everyone's learning a new pitch. So whether it's a Sanchez cutter, everyone seems to be tinkering with a splitter. And James, like if you know me and the diehard listener for this podcast, like there's no pitch that I think I love more than a well executed split finger fastball. Now I know why guys don't throw it because it loosens up the muscles in your elbow, so it could lead to issues. But if your muscles are strong enough, like whatever. Wheeler messing around with the splitter is just, I mean, it's better than Christmas. You know what I mean? Like it's like having another present on the tree. Like if he can learn a splitter to go along with a sweeper that like was kind of all year until the postseason, he's like, hey, you know what I'm gonna do? Be able to spot this sweeper wherever I want. Coupled with 95, he's plus 850 for the side. It's like, just put it down now. Like, what's the point in even waiting? It's over. Like, Zach, do people, like, maybe I'm the crazy one. Who could ever say that? But, like, do people understand how insane Zach Wheeler would be with, like, a well-executed splitter to go along with all of his other pitches? Like, is this the first time everyone's following baseball? Like, he develops into one of the best pitchers in the sport. He's already one of the best pitchers in the sport. It's like, feed me, Zach Wheeler splitter. It's the best news you could hear out of spring training.
I have nothing to add to that. That
Thank
was
you.
like all Perfect.
Dude, think about it this way, right? Like 95.
I'm good. I get it.
95 with the amount of backspin that he can create with his fastball. So it rises a little bit with a splitter off it. Like he's toyed around the splitter. But he toyed around with the splitter, James, as a Met. As a Met, when no one cared. They didn't have the Rapsodo camera. They didn't have Caleb Cotham being able to slow it all down. Like Caleb Cotham, I swear to you, there is no one more important in this organization than Caleb Cotham.
Other than Brian Barber and Preston Mattingly, obviously.
So, like, obviously it's a bit hyperbole because they're all important. Yeah. But when I think about, like, the power structure of things that matter the most to this organization, I would say Ani Kalambi, of not the Mount Rushmore of the organization, Ani Kalambi, Caleb Cotham, and I'm developing, and this is Alex Coffey's fault, but it's 100% like because of the article she wrote. Like, I'm ready to name a future kid of mine after Adam Lind. Like Adam Lind. Yeah. Adam Lind is incredibly important to the future of this organization. When they talk about chase rate and you talk about not chasing the baseball, like Adam Lind was brought here for one reason. And like I have watched the Giants over the last couple of years, and it's like they suck. They suck at they have no talent on the hitting side. There's just no one. They stink. But for some reason, they always rip the Phillies pitching, and like I would see these scrubs hitting just moonshots. Okay, Adam Lind was brought here to get a lineup that has stars up and down, to have like a freaking plan when they go up there. And you watch them in spring training, and you see them laying off pitches, and you see them looking to just do damage on the pitches that matter, and it's like Adam Lind. That's all Adam Lind, who like hit 34 home runs randomly one year, and it was like a great.
I loved it. Yeah, I don't know in fantasy.
Middle 2000s baseball guy is Adam Lind. It's Dustin Lind. Okay, I guess I was wrong the whole time. Whoever the Lind guy is, one of the 5 most important people in the organization. Yeah. So, they're just doing everything right, and I'm so happy.
Me too, buddy.
They've been really good also to continue.
No, don't go for another. No. Emily's texting me about how hungry she is. You're killing my soul. Shout out to Adam/Dustin Lind.
Damn, it really is Dustin Lind. I thought it was Adam Lind this whole time. That's
Clearly,
bad.
You just did a whole rant about it, and then it was not. Is it spelled the same way? Land? Is
yes.
Okay.
Yes. So I think I assumed it was Adam.
Maybe
Lind.
It's a relative or something. Yeah.
Either way, this guy's ridiculous. And we didn't have to push the Phillies.
We got it. Yeah, but it's true. Yes, they don't need us anymore from that perspective. They're smart.
Yeah, it's a shame. Yeah. Part of me is dead inside, but it's okay.
No, it's not. Don't worry.
All right. Let's get to probably the most important part of this podcast.
Yes, I can't wait to see what you think is the most important part. Yes.
Did you watch Griff McGarry? Or like, did you?
I didn't see it. I didn't. Dude, I haven't got a chance to go. Hey, you look good.
Why don't you go take your Dune 2 and shot for
wow. Okay, I like that.
Just dude. Yeah. Griff looked so good. A ball didn't touch the backstop, which is a big progress. Step in the right
direction. Yeah.
Yep.
He didn't Rick Ankiel it.
Dude, it wasn't just like the fastball popped. Like at one point I think he threw 4 straight sliders and they weren't on top of it. So it was a very encouraging first Griff start. I don't think we've done a podcast since the first Mick Abel outing.
No, it was right after, which dude, that I did see, and that was nice.
It was popping. It was the mitts were popping. So I think Griff and Mick were on a like pretty big trajectory before last year. A bit of a step back here. But like
back on track kind of thing.
How Griff I thought Griff looked insane. I thought Mick looked insane. I'm so like, you want to talk about a weekend ruiner? like Mick not starting yesterday because he was sick. I mean, just what's the point? What's the point of even waking up that day? You know what I mean?
Instead, I hung out with my child and spent time with my family. It was a disaster.
But Griff looked awesome. Spencer Turnbull. Now, the concerning part about, not concerning, that's the wrong word, but his fastball was only like 93, 94. Like when Spencer Turnbull was peak,
he's
Spencer
just
Turnbull,
getting there, buddy. He's just ratcheting it up.
Well, the good part about where this team is that they have, let's say one of these guys in the rotation goes down or they need to space it out. I feel pretty confident they could bring up a couple arms and it's not going to be a disaster. Like even David Buchanan, who I still can't believe is a Philly again. Pretty good field for pitching. You know what I mean? And speaking of David Buchanan, there's nothing funnier than it feels like what the Phillies pitching strategy was for like 10 years of drafting. It was like, hey, knows how to pitch. Like that's all it was.
That was
it was
all
like,
we had. Yeah.
It was like, hey, can pitch backwards. Did he go to Cal State Fullerton? Okay, we'll draft him. But they love guys that know how to pitch backwards. Dave Buchanan can do all that stuff. So I feel pretty confident that if one of these guys goes down, then they can bring up someone and they're fine. So I think
huge.
Mick seems like he's ready for like that next step. Griff is still, I think they're working on mechanics and want to make sure he's right. But the fact that it went from literally last week, it was, I'm not sure he's going to pitch in a Grapefruit League game because we want everything to be in the right spot, to bang, he's pitching by the end of the week. Seems like they're pretty confident in what they're doing. So Turnbull, I was surprised. I thought his curveball looked better than I remember with the Tigers. And it's just, it can't be understated or said enough going from the Tigers pitching development to where the Phillies are currently at.
Oh my God. I mean, how many guys, and like there've been injuries and stuff, but I mean, the Tigers have had all these talented high draft picks like Manning and Mize and all this stuff, and like just like no real fruit has been born from me. And they're still young, but
I'm back in on Casey Mize, by the way, back in, and Tarek Skubal might win the AL Cy Young.
Yeah, I'm very in on Skubal.
He's awesome. Yeah. So once again, Caleb Coffin, one of the most important people in the history of this organization. Speaking of like random people they found out of nowhere, just putting this one away. Now, hopefully it doesn't turn out like McKinley Moore, because McKinley Moore did not end up well. Mm-hmm. Very intrigued by Tyler Phillips. Just going to get that one out there. I know you're excited. I know when you think of why we're doing this podcast, like Tyler Phillips is not something that you felt like should be mentioned.
No, probably not. I wouldn't, I probably wouldn't have taken the time, but you know what?
Dude, the guy was popping. It was like 95 out of nowhere with a hammer curveball. Like for a waiver wire pickup, yes, Tyler Phillips all of a sudden matters. Sir Anthony looks insane.
Please, yes.
99 already. Like Sir Anthony looks phenomenal. Throwing strikes, looks confident. They have some legit options in that back end.
Well, and look, I mean, it wouldn't be shocking at all if he went back to being elite Sir Anthony. I mean, we see that with these bullpen guys all the time, where they have these, kind of off year or whatever, and then they go back and it's like, oh yeah, there he is. So many times that happens. So I actually would be more surprised. I don't know that I would guarantee get back to like elite Sir Anthony, but I would have been more surprised if we saw the Sir Anthony we saw last season than, a much better version. Like I would have been surprised if he didn't take a step forward again. So,
dude, they have so many options.
They got dudes.
There. Like they got so many dudes. They have so many dudes. Did Mike Angelina tell you the stat about Schwarber that he found?
About the clogging up the bases thing? It's so great. Well, he found it because of my show. So we had a caller on our show who was doing this whole rant about him clogging up the bases. And Angelina came into my studio and he goes, that guy broke me. He's like, I'm looking up every instance of, Schwarber on base and Turner, this and that. And he was like, I'm done with it. He's like, I'm doing it. And it's pretty hilarious, the numbers.
So for all the people that talk about Schwarber clogging the bases, batting the leadoff position. So it only happened. Turner only got hit behind Kyle Schwarber 16 times last year. In 162 games, it was only 16 times.
Yep.
I believe in three 2 or 3 of those, it was home runs. So obviously that doesn't matter. So that takes it down to 12 or 13. And in those 13, if you look at what actually happened in the play, he didn't clog the bases once.
0 times.
Zero times.
He went
Zero
to third.
times.
He went to third on a few of them. Obviously, Turner just got out on a few of them. There it was like 0 times that he
0 times.
Yeah.
0 times. So, for people that don't want Schwarber as the leadoff guy, just let them know that, hey, 0 times, literally, had he ever clogged the bases, or maybe not ever, but last year did he clog the bases at all as the Phillies leadoff hitter.
I'm ready to go to war with all the Schwarber leadoff hitters haters. And look, I love Trey Turner's leadoff hitter. I'm not against that. It's just the way that it sets up with all the lefties. Like, I can't have Harper hitting 2 and like JT or Casty or someone batting 3 or Bone batting 3. So it just is what it is. So there we go.
Speaking of JT, I don't know who I'm more excited about. Like
a swing adjustment. Let's go.
Well, the biomechanics lab, which I mean, feed me all of that. But
let's go.
But him and Bohm, I mean, even Bohm, I hope that we have one of these like super breakout-y Bohm years where it's like swing looks fluid. He had 3 hits today. He's going the opposite way. Like, can I get like a 285, 25 home run, Alec Bohm?
Totally. Yeah, he doesn't have to be like a superstar. He doesn't be all-star. Just give us like, even like 280, 18 or 280, 22 or something would be great. Like, and I think it's super within reach. It's super attainable. I think it's. I'm with you, dude. And the pressure will not be on him in the same way it was at the end of the season, the playoffs last year.
JT squaring up everything. Bohm is kind of squaring up everything. It's just a lot of the regulars are looking super strong. Even like Schwarber, he struck out a ton, but he looks like he's kind of thin, like slimmed down a lot. I think of the regulars that super matter, not the Tyler Phillipses of the world, because I know you don't care. Bohm and JT, I think, have looked the best so far.
Nice. Love it.
Which is phenomenal. At what point? Yeah. At what point do we like? I sort of need Gingrich on the roster. Like,
stop.
Stop. I
nope.
need him.
No,
man.
I'm not doing it.
Dude, swing looks different. He made a backhanded stab at third base the other day.
I've got Emily texting me about when are we going to eat dinner, and you're bringing up Scott Gingrich. Really, that's happening here.
Dude.
Oh my god.
If I don't talk about it, when are we going to talk about it?
Yeah, no, I was hoping never, but sure, yes.
It did cross my mind. And while I love Edmundo, do we have to trade Edmundo Sosa?
No,
to make sure that Gingrich is on this roster.
No, we don't.
Make sure.
What's next?
when Scott Gingrich saves the season and someone's hurt, and he has to come up. And
I will absolutely shout at this moment and say, Jack, you're right. But when Scott Gingrich has 0 impact on the season, at the end of the year, you're gonna be like, hey man, sorry about that. I was wrong. My bad.
And what I'm going to say?
What?
I'm going to say, frick your dinner.
You're going to say next year. Gingrich will do it next year. Yeah.
I mean, he's only 30.
Say that to Emily. You don't have to say it to me. Say it to Emily. That's fine. No worries. Yeah.
So, Derek Hall is, and this is just philosophically, I'm asking.
Oh, good. That's what I was hoping for, a philosophical question at this point in the pod. Please. Yes.
So Derek Hall is 9 home runs from 10 home runs from setting the Iron Pigs record for home runs. If you set the Iron Pig record for home runs with 70 career home runs, like what would you be like happy, or would you be like,
I would make them build a statue of me at Lehigh. Yeah, I would take what I can get, buddy. Come on.
I would be like, oh, sweet, awesome.
I mean, come on. I will take any sort of like honor I can get along the way. Totally. No, yeah.
I don't know, man.
Don't hate on it. I might be like, hey guys, listen, I don't need to come up to the majors. Give me a couple weeks. Let me break this. Then I'll come up.
Let me hit 70 AAA home runs.
Yeah. Let me put my freaking name in the record books, and then I'll be back. Yeah.
Well, listen, he'd be taking down former Phillies great Andy Tracy. So
I honestly don't remember that. I honestly, I'm sure I've heard that name before. I don't remember ever hearing it. So there you go.
Yes, that's pretty much all I got to take back.
Hey!
You're welcome.
Thanks, Emily. You're welcome. That's what he said. This was good. You're
Yeah.
good.
Can I have one final thought though?
Of course we can. Yeah, because we always do final thoughts on here. Yes.
I only have 12 days left in my 30s or 20s.
Oh, there's a thought I can get down with. Yes, bring it.
Yeah.
Bring it. Welcome aboard. Hello.
12 days left in my
Imagine when
20s.
like your 40s are coming up and then woo.
Well,
Yeah,
for you
buddy.
50s, but yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm saying when I was coming into my 40s. Yes, I mean, on my way to stare down the barrel of 50. I'm not quite there yet, but yes, I'm with you. Yes.
Yep.
I'm so happy. I can't wait. I'm so happy you're turning 30. I have like, I'm trying to think of the level of sympathy that I have for you feeling that you're getting older when you turn 30. And it's like, whatever the most negative a thing can be, like negative, like infinity, that's the amount of sympathy that I have for you. So
thank you. No, it seems like a touching moment.
30. Oh, 30. Yeah.
When people are listening to this, probably 11 days left.
It's exciting.
20s.
And is this week you go to Clearwater?
Oh yeah, Thursday. I'm heading to Clearwater.
Okay. So Thursday, Friday, back Saturday. So we'll record next Sunday again. Get into it all. All right, awesome.
Yeah. So
Awesome.
Jackie Clearwater.
Jackie
Thursday
returns home to the site of the famed Nick Pavetta meeting.
I know.
I heard they're gonna put a statue in the outfield there that people just play around it because it's so special of the two of you. That picture.
Well, what I'm hoping is that when I get down there, I can, maybe have more conversations about how good Tyler Phillips looks so far.
Love this.
And how he could be in the mix if one of these guys get hurt.
In the mix. Get rid of the mix. My final thought, I'll give you a final thought, and I haven't said this yet this pod, so I really want to make sure I said it. Go see Dune 2. It's awesome. Movie kicked ass.
Once again, movies are a waste of time, especially during Phillies season. Like
it's not Phillies season yet, all right? This does not matter. It's a word that could also be a phrase that could also be applied to something else. All right.
I'm going to go try to cook a steak for the first time. So
I believe in you, buddy. I know you're going to crush it. I'm going to go make my wife happy and make some food. We'll be back literally 1 week from today, and we'll have Clearwater stories. Unless the Phillies sign like Sheridan Montgomery, then we'll be back then too. So until then, he's Fritz and Seltzer.